It's great to have you back.
Tigers and Blues are out there. The anticipation, the nerves are very much part of this MCG atmosphere. With Darcy, Matthew Lloyd, Anthony Hudson with you.
The Carlton side, there's a couple of young fellas who have got big jobs to do down here tonight. Simon White playing his 7th game at centre-half back, and Sean Hampson, they're going to roll him through forward. He's got to take through full forward, got to take some marks. Big night for Eddie Betts. If he kicks a goal tonight, he goes past Sid Jackson as the greatest Indigenous goal kicker in Carlton's history. Howie?
A real look at the future for the Richmond Football Club. Their top 3 draft picks from last year, Reece Conker, Jake Batchelor and Brad Helbig are in. Dan Connors, he's starting off on the substitute bench.
They've won the last 5 against the Tigers. Carlton by average of 56 points. Dustin Martin with another pre-season in him, 4th in the best and fairest in his rookie year.
So you can see all the forwards push out and allow Jack Revolt a heap of space early at the other end of the ground. Chris Newman, the captain's, going to play on Eddie Betts. Brett Delidio started at half-back, but I think you'll see at times Delidio push into the midfield. You can see also Daniel Jackson circling Chris Judd, normally gets the tagging role on Chris Judd.
So the countdown to the season is over and 2011 is underway. Carlton versus Richmond. Graham against Warnock. Attacking it was Walker. He's got to roll up forward this year. Good work by Robinson. Now Russell, head over the ball, gathers nicely and drives it long to half forward. No mark there to McGuan. Quick hands by Betts to Waite. Into the pocket. High ball. Betts is camped underneath it. Couple of Tigers fly. McGuan at the bottom of the pack. Judd tries to bust his way through. Betts again, busy early. Jackson gets bumped into by Simpson. Here's Foley, almost a new player for the Tigers this year after 2 terrible years with injury, and he gets the free.
He does. Some interesting words from the umpire as the Tigers get it moving through Martin. What an impact he made last year. There's one of the newcomers, Helbig, who had a lot of injury last year in the under-18s, but Tigers were keen on him. He's done really well in the pre-season. Not the ideal start. Warnock takes it, tries to give that run to Yaron. It's on for Richmond if they can be clean here. Revolt is on his own. He won't be now, though, because the Richmond side weren't able to win clean hands and get it out.
Great defensive pressure there from Matthew White. The handball to Yaron, that's a set play. You want to get into the hands of Yaron, and White did really well. I think he's got the defensive forward role just to try and stop the run of Chris Yaron at half-back.
Big Graham tangling with Warnock. Robinson provided a little bit of a space for Murphy to work in, which he was able to do. And Russell's handball not perfect. Carazzo had that real rainmaker a few moments ago. He looks like he has the defensive role on Delidio. Hits up Walker. 75 from goal. Blues will just loop it to the top. The height of Hanson. Asprey, the spoiler, but he couldn't spoil. He just couldn't get over the top of the Man Mountain.
Yeah, too big. And this is a great mark from Sean Hampson, because this is one area of his game that probably wasn't finding enough football. The balls were bouncing out of his hands far too often last year, so this would do a lot for his confidence. And they get he and Jared Waite one out, far too strong for their smaller opponents.
He's kicked us 11 goals in his 35-game career until now. What a start to season 2011. Well, what a start it would have been. Had a productive off-season.
He's a powerful-looking unit, isn't he, Sean Hampson? And he's got the athleticism to play that role, Lordy. That's why I like him down there, is that at ground level, he can still tackle and chase. And we just saw his ability in the air if he can stand and deliver with the mark. But directly in front, 35 metres out, you just have to kick those goals.
Newman goes short. This is Rance.
Move it on.
Goes the long option, and it's a strong grab taken by Warnock, who finished 2010 in fine fettle. Off to Robinson. Long ball again inside 50. A big leap, almost. Hampson again, and then he gave away the free kick.
Definitely pushing the bat there from Hampson to Newman, but I like that. I mean, he really should have grabbed it, had a really good look at this. You could just see no defensive pressure. He took the first one cleanly and should have really marked it. But look at that, at least at ground level, he's straight after the foot, he's applying pressure, and that says to me he can play forward in the modern style where you have to be able to compete at ground level as well as in the air.
This is where I want to see some run from the Tigers, Darce. In the NAB Cup, I know they didn't have much of a side in, but they got held up far too often, so they need to take the game on.
Newman with the football. Captain loops one over the top. Down the line was Martin. Nice move by Vickery, who found some space. Now what can the big man do with it? He decides to handball. This is a nice build-up by the Tigers. Grigg inside 50, Revolt in front, can't quite hang on to the mark. Got the front posse. And that will be a bounce, I would suspect. Umpire showing a little bit of patience. Now play on's the call. White, call on the crisis, off to Thornton. His kick's good. Carazzo couldn't quite hang on to the mark. Another opportunity here for Richmond. Jackson from a standing start, 55 out. Pumps it into the goal square. In front, no mark off the ground. Morton! First goal of season 2011 goes to Mitch Morton, and that is his 100th goal in AFL football.
Well done to Mitch Morton. He's turned his career around. Middle of last year, was back at VFL level in a lot of trouble, moved into the midfield and averaged 23 disposals. So not only he's got a great fitness space, so he's added a lot of strings to his bow and is a new player for the Tigers.
He was a goal sneak turned midfielder last year, Mitch Morton, but just for the moment back in his old role, proving dangerous up forward, boys, taking the opportunities.
I think we might see him there a lot more often in 2011. He kicked 76 goals in 2008 and 2009. They need another target up there alongside Revolt. Great start for Morton.
You can hear the roar as the Blues broke away with Judd to Laidler, former Cat, in his third game of AFL footy. Not a pretty start, but no real damage done. And the ball is over and out. It's going to be interesting to watch Carlton's approach to this game, boys. You know, we know they're an attacking side, or have been under Brett Ratton, but you suspect that they'll be following the mantra of being a more defensive-orientated side this year. So will we see that? Will they be able to apply some of that defensive pressure that other teams have done already?
I think it's a good point, Hutto, especially with Gavin Brown moving across from Collingwood to Carlton. I think he'll add a lot more defensive aspects to Carlton's game style.
It's interesting, Matthew Lappin said when we asked him pre-match in one of the NAB Cups that that was the thing he noticed when he went to Collingwood, was that it was defensive focused at Collingwood, it was attacking focused at Carlton. I think things have changed a little.
Well, they've already made one move in Andrew Walker going forward, who played defence last year. His role will be just to compete, just to play that defensive forward and tackle and chase. And there he is on screen. I reckon that suits him down to a T. He's not a great kick, he's not a great decision maker. Apply pressure as a forward, I like it.
Martin, so good last year in the clutches. Cochin can't find a way out either. It's tight.
Trying to mount a case for why Carlton are going to improve this year. That man on screen, Bryce Gibbs, to me is the one that they need to go from being a really good player to an elite player. He's got all the capabilities. It's a big year for him.
Martin got his head ripped off and got the free kick. So building again of the Tigers. Ball goes to half forward. Morton stays out of the contest cleverly. Might get the run of the ball here. Taps it on to Revolt, who might have a shot himself. Big Jack has drilled the goal! What a cracker! Great play by Morton, off to Revolt, who finished off from a tight angle. Richmond are away.
What a great pickup this is from Jack Revolt at pace for a big unit. Look at that. Hardly broke stride, picked it up cleanly, was able to maintain pace. He went around the body, Lloydie, but he knew exactly what he was going to do. What a start to the Tigers. First two goals. And their two key forwards, Morton and Revolt, get them.
Now White is, Edwards rather, is caught. Somehow found Nahas, runs into the runner. Free kick. Or a stoppage. Is it a Carlton or a Richmond runner?
It doesn't matter, he's interfered with the play.
So it's the Richmond runner.
With the play.
Okay, so it's a free kick going Carlton's way because it was the Richmond runner.
Oh, what a disaster.
And that is a disaster. I was about, you took the words out of my mouth.
Sorry,
and now Carlton can have a shot at goal.
You talk about coach killers. Damien Hardwick's side has got off to an absolute flyer. They're in great form. They've kicked the first two goals. And your runner, what are you doing there? Get out the way. You've bowled your own player over. Now
send the other runner out, don't you, to take him off?
Tell you what, you wouldn't want to go to the bench now if you're that man.
So after all that, Chris Judd has a shot at goal. And he's missed too. So that runner will just sit down and rest a little easier after that miss from Chris Judd, but
one of the hard things to explain to people who come to our game for the first time, what the people in green are doing out there. Not many other sports where you have that on the ground. Well, they've just got to get out the way.
Newman took the yards that he could and went for Vickery on the wing. It was vigorous stuff. Good contest. They bounced their way out. It's Robinson trying to push his way into the midfield this year. Off to Armfield from Simpson. And there's a good mark on the lead taken by Walker. Kicked those 3 goals in the final late last year. Still wasn't enough. He still was seeking a trade at the end of the year, but he's there. He's playing forward. He's having a long bomb at goal. Not bad contact. The Blues looks a bit blustery down there, Lloydie. I mean, it always swirls here, doesn't it? They say at the MCG, but it looks a bit tough down that end.
Yeah, it was blustery, and I know the players are struggling more to the end that Carlton are kicking to as well, but it's been 8 clearances to 4 in favour of Carlton, and also dominating the inside 50. So Richmond have done well to be 2 goals up because Carlton have had more of the play.
Newman starts things once again. And that's a solid, oh, should have been maybe a free kick to Scotland. Well, he ends up with a footy anyway, and it's a good disciplined centering kick. And this will be another behind for the Blues.
It's an interesting point that you raised before about the 2 ruckmen and also Walker not being great set shots for goal. The trend these days in footy is you need your best kicks across half-back because so much of players set up there. So someone like Walker has probably been taken out of defence because he's not a great user of the footy. But what happens conversely is they're having shots at goal, and you can see the scoreline, 5 behinds from Carlton that all could really have been kickable goals.
Foley getting in the thick of it. It's great to see him back after he's missed some 26 matches in the last couple of years. Revolt gets worked over the line by Dygan. He's a great story too, isn't he? The 26-year-old who'll be helping out as part of the team defence on Jack Revolt for the Blues.
Holding Chris Judd, free kick.
So Daniel Jackson's got the tagging job on Judd, and the umpires all over that hold around the stoppage.
So Richmond have pushed some numbers back into defensive 50, forcing Judd to go fairly short to Simpson. Hard lead in the pocket, will be on it again. So Walker in a similar position. No 50. No disposals for Delidio or Cochin so far, by the way, for the Tigers. Meantime, Bryce Gibbs gets into some space, and that's another one the coach wouldn't be happy with.
A great spot up there from Andrew Walker. But look at Jack Revolt. We wondered, as Gibbs passes the ball up, that we wondered who was going to take the mantle from Matthew Richardson. Look at Jack Revolt, how emotional, how much he's into the game, his bubbly personality. He's been brilliant early in this match.
So this is Curnow. He's a great story as well. It'll be a better story if he kicks the first goal of the year for Carlton. He has. What a start.
Great finish from Ed Curnow. Won the Vauxhall VFL Best and Fairest in 2010, despite not playing after round 13. So that's an absolute domination at VFL level. And just a little bit of loose marking there. Got free. And finally, Carlton kicked one straight.
Ed Curnow playing his first game of footy, the man who wouldn't take no for an answer. Started with a crack at the Adelaide Crows, couldn't make it there. Went to Box Hill, won their Best and Fairest last year, despite breaking his leg in round 13 and missing the rest of the season. Now he's kicked his first goal in his first game of the big-time football. As the Blues work it forward again through Carazzo, only as far as Asprey. Nice spin out of trouble. Rance to the wing. Another turnover by the Tigers. Beautiful pick-up by the dual Brownlow medalist. He gets it off to Curnow. Hand it off over to Garlett. And we will have a throw in.
The other thing about
allowed to get away with that.
Sorry, of course, the other thing about Curnow is that he carried part of that injury into the pre-season. He's had a limited pre-season, but he's just forced his way in with fantastic training and form. So he's deserved his spot in the team tonight.
That's the experience of Big Warnock once again getting in front of Angus Graham.
Blues starting to really get on top here. And they get it on the scoreboard. McGuan, good spoil that time on weight, but it ends up with Walker back to Betts. He can lift the Blues. Now they're in front.
Just the dominance of the Blues has really taken control. They've now had 15 tackles to 5 over Richmond, and also 11 clearances to 4. So they are starting to dominate the game if they can take their opportunities.
This is really clever by Andrew Walker here. You can just see held it, and gave it to the best possible person you'd want to give it to in Eddie Betts, and he loves that situation, Eddie.
Judd just couldn't quite get the clearance. And at the moment, Trent Cotchin's staging a little two-man war with Mitch Robinson.
Boys, this is the stat that Collingwood dominated last year. Time in the forward half. Carlton are absolutely smashing them so far.
Quick clearing kick by Gibbs, I think it was, in the middle of the pack. It's marked by Newman, who's been busy.
Clubs are very interested in that particular stat we just showed this year, Hutto. So much now about trapping the ball in the forward half of your ground. Collingwood did that 4 times more than any other side last year on a regular basis. So we'll see defenders push up. We'll see the term forward press. Clubs are going to try and emulate what Collingwood did, and you can just see Carlton have had an enormous amount of play in their forward half of the ground.
Front and centre was Martin. Kicks to a one-on-one, revolt, and gets the free kick for the hole. The advantage Matthew Lloyd are playing in front and having the strength, that helps too.
Yeah, and also getting a one-on-one inside 50, Luke. We don't see a lot of that in today's football, and that's the last thing Brett Ratton and White would want from to be one out with Riewoldt, because last year he was the best in the business at this, wasn't he?
That is just an absolute gift for Riewoldt. You give him an opportunity one-on-one, he's either going to take the mark, draw a free kick, or if not at ground level, he's a better option. So that is the A1 plan tonight for the Tigers. One-on-one to this man.
Riewoldt to put the Tigers back in front and makes no mistake.
Oh. Well, have a look at this incident on the right of screen. Jared Waite earlier with Luke McGuan. Jared Waite's got to be careful. He missed 4 games last year through suspension.
So Judd kicks to the hole, but it's not a great one. And it's cut off here by Hooley. And dishes off to Martin. Into the back pocket. Oh, just comes off, marked by Conker.
It's a mark.
So that's what Reece Conker's got in front of him. You can see Carlton have pushed over. He's got to be good by foot. The pressure is just getting to the young Tigers at the moment.
Lucky let off there again for Richmond. Boy, they're dicey with danger at the moment. Newman onto that trusty left. And Vickery knocks it over the line. We'll have a throw in.
Well, I think the thing Damien Harbert would be positive about at quarter time. One is the scoreline. The second thing is that every time they do get it inside 50, Morton looks dangerous. Riewoldt looks incredibly dangerous. So if they can start winning their fair share of clearances, which at the moment they're getting smashed at 11-3, and get it one-on-one inside 50, they can score.
Griggs kicks loose off the side of the boot, marked by Scotland.
Now can the Blues sort themselves out this time? Long ball for Waite on the bounce. McGuan not giving him an inch, and did very well with a bit of extra vigour on the tackle to owe him one from before. Carazzo on the bounce. Simpson can take it. Has he got any support? No, he has to go back to Carazzo, and they set up again. High ball. Betts looks dangerous. Oh, he's got the right, Eddie. And he's given away the free. Cotchin's able to come away with it. Hopefully for the Tigers, he can hit a target, and they could be dangerous now on the transition.
Beautiful kick to Morton. He's got the long, hard lead from Riewoldt, who lost the front position here. And that was a good effort by White. Happy to see it over the line.
It's already Betts there, Das. Fly for a big mark, and he's coming off the ground now. I think he's really struggled since Jared Waite, and they've gone tall in the forward line. I think he's got to find far more ball at ground level. I think he's always been a lead-up and marking player, and that's going to be a real test for him this year.
Another free kick to Chris Judd off ball.
Chris Judd. Chris Judd. Time back on.
short one to Curnow, who's been impressive, boys, hasn't he, in the first quarter?
Up to 7 disposals.
Yeah, looks really as though he's not overawed at all by his first game of AFL football.
And he kicks long down the line. There's Betts again, out-muscled by Deledio, who just got it off to Asprey. Great run down by Betts, holding the ball. Yes, sir. Great defensive pressure from Eddie Betts. And he gives it off to Robinson, who wasn't quite prepared for the handball, but he's going to pump it long. Big pack fly. Whistle. Free kick going to Richmond.
Richmond. Yeah, your free kick.
They've been really prepared to kick it in long, Carlton, haven't
Give him
they?
the footage, this one.
Yeah, and I don't think it's really worked for them. I know that Jared Waite's being really well held by Luke McGuan, and I saw even Brett Thornton just drift down then, but I think they have to have the goal to Curnow. They just probably were a bit more patient, and they got the goal there. I think they're just blazing away a bit too much.
Martin goes long. Only 55 seconds remaining. They could be the important one if either side can land a blow. Scotland, they've got great run from behind here from Russell. Low ball. This is better for Waite. He slides into the mark. Big kick coming up for Carlton.
The big fella Graham goes off. It looked as though he'd hurt himself in that last marking contest, but it's just sheer weight of numbers. The ball keeps coming down. I think the defenders have actually stood up pretty well in the one-on-one contest, but if you keep getting it in and get it in cleanly enough, eventually you're going to get a free play. On this occasion, it was Waite.
19-5 inside 50.
And it's a huge kick, though, Quarters, because it's very frustrating going in at quarter time. You've had all the chances, and you continually blow them.
So Jared Waite, at his best year in front of goals last year, he was deadly accurate, and this time he misses. In fact, the Blues were the most accurate team in the competition last year from set shots and in general play, and tonight it's been the polar opposite.
1 goal 6 from set shots this quarter, and that just creates enormous frustration. You can see Brett Ratton on the coaching from the interchange bench tonight.
Brett Deledio this time does the kicking in. And despite their domination in the first quarter, Carlton, they couldn't make it count on the scoreboard. 2-8-20, Richmond 3 straight 18.
I thought the scoreboard probably in the end was pretty favourable to Richmond given the domination of Carlton. Big opportunity for the Blues in the second quarter.
So let's see if Richmond can hang on or Carlton can keep this ascendancy going.
So the Blues start the second term 2 points in front. Gibbs gets the first possession of the second term. Kicks to the members' side, half forward flank, and over it goes for a throw in.
Centre clearances are 5-1 for the match, and overall clearance was 14-3 in favour of Carlton. If Richmond are to be any chance, they've got to win the break because, as we said earlier, Rewalt's down there with some one-on-one opportunities on an opponent that he can beat really comfortably. They've got to start winning these balls now.
Robinson fed it out nicely to Simpson. High ball inside 50. Waite just feigned for the free kick. The umpire said play on. Now Grigg back into traffic. Oh, it's a dodgy handball to McGuan, who's gone. Umpire said play on. Betts. Not 15 to Walker. So he tries to get it back to Betts. Some fancy footwork and quick hands there. And Bryce Gibbs is the man that finishes it off.
Yeah, just the weight of numbers for Carlton. They've started where they left off in that first quarter, and it's great pressure there from Jared Waite. Exactly what you want from a big forward. And Bryce Gibbs, he's a class act, and he's one of the best finishers that Carlton's got.
So Bryce Gibbs giving Carlton an 8-point lead, and it looks ominous as far as the Tigers are concerned. Warnock to Judd, and systematically destroying them out of the middle. Gibbs on the bounce at half forward against some fancy footwork from Walker. He summed it up pretty well. He summed it up very well. What a goal for Mr. Walker. Consecutive goals in the opening minute And a bit for the Blues.
What a bonus it will be, Lloydie, if Andrew Walker can turn around and kick left foot goals from 55. I don't reckon he's ever done that before in his life. He certainly hasn't done it when I've been watching before. He's not normally a great kick on the right foot, let alone the left foot. He couldn't have hit that any better. We know he's going to compete as a forward, but if he can score as well, Lloydie, what a massive bonus that is.
They're obviously getting killed in the middle, but another concern for mine off half-back is Brett Delidio. He's so concerned about getting away from, say, the deepest forward and coming up the ground that it's creating a few mismatches for Carlton. 1 minute Arnfield's taking care of him. The next it'll be Andrew Walker. He's only had the one disposal, Brett Delidio. He's just got to tighten up and worry about his man.
Martin puts out the don't argue. Good strength from the young man. And he goes long inside 50, but the delivery is poor. And easy pickings for Carlton. As the mark's taken by Simpson. Hasn't missed a game in 5 seasons. Kate Simpson, what a record, and a beautiful spot up to Robinson. Goes to a one-on-one. Wait in the front position against Maguire. It's over their head. Lurking in the pocket is Carazzo. Garlett back to Scotland, who measures the goals, kicks across the face, and it has sneaked home for a point.
And again, Lloydie, that was Delidio's man, Carazzo.
He got so lucky there, Hutto. He was 20 metres off his man. Didn't want to know about picking him up and got away with one there.
Well, he's got the responsibility of getting Richmond back into play and trying to get them out of defence. It's been a massive task for them so far tonight. He goes to himself, which is a pretty common tactic these days. Gain as much as you can to a couple on a couple, perhaps. And get away through Jackson, at least to the wing, but it's very Collingwood-esque, isn't it, at the moment, the Blues? Laidler using Gibbs. Now they can run again. Oh, kick deep inside the 50. Steady for Carazzo and hit the target. Yes. Oh, the big changes since quarter time. Bang.
And they deserve it because what they are doing really well is playing off their men and making Richmond go long, go wide, and they're cutting off the angles. And this man, he's become a great player for Carlton. And Delidio was his man, kicked it in, didn't have enough time to pick him up, and he's made him pay.
It's a great point you made, Lloydie, about Brett Delidio. Andrew Carazzo was his man, those last 2 players. You were sitting there waving at me before because he just didn't pick Carazzo up. He should have got a goal about a minute earlier, and then Delidio had the kick in, didn't pick him up early enough. Carazzo scored. He's just got to be better, Delidio. Got to pick up his man.
Foley to Edwards. Everything the Tigers do at the moment is under extreme pressure. Collision, and looks like Graham might have copped another one. The big ruckman for the Tigers, picked up by Grigg. Oh, gee, bounces off the chest of Vickery. Fortunately, Morton's there for Richmond to mop up. Long ball to Revolt, who again flies against a couple. Got both hands on the footy. Laidler handballs under pressure. Vickery tries to make amends. Throwing his body at the ball was Jackson. Good tackle by Judd, wraps him up. And a bounce inside. Richmond's attacking 50. Only the 7th time it's been in there. And a heavy hit there for Graham.
And that was by Helbig. So great to see a young fella look to throw his weight around when his team's really struggling.
Warnock, comfortable tap. Shark by Revolt. Got boot to ball, not 15 metres. That's a free kick for a push. And it's going to be taken by Scotland. A little bit groggy, but gets the handball away. And this is Andrew Walker.
Again, we're on Brett Delidio's case, but he's just switched over to Walker, and he let Walker lead him up to the footy and take an easy chest mark. He's wanting to get the footy on his own terms. Brett Delidio not working for the team.
Got through to Gibbs, and they're away again. Carazzo swung around and banged as long as he could. Garlett tried to get there, and he almost did. Hampson was in his road, and the ball is out of bounds. Quiet so far, Garlett tonight. Just a couple of disposals. And Yaron, who's, we know this year playing more off half-back, hasn't had a touch yet. But the Blues are dominating now. They lead by 21 points. Hampson down to Murphy. Could easily have been another one. Rance saving the day on the last line. And now the former Blue. You can hear the crowd acknowledging that. Grigg kicks it out to half-back. Nahas hemmed in. He made a fool of Arnfield there, but you know Arnfield's going to keep on running. And Nahas just backed his pace in to get away. And he delivers well to Cochin. who's had no space to work in whatsoever tonight. Dygan stands the mark as Cochin hits up Revolt. That's better system from the Tigers.
Which is why you need Trent Cochin getting more of the footy than just 2 possessions to this stage of the game, Lordy, because he's such a clever user of the footy, kicks it so well, and you can just see how well he summed it up. There's a lead from Revolt. Look at the pass. You can't defend that.
So Revolt, of course, 78 goals and a Coleman last year. It's working its way back. Oh, it's marked on the line by his former partner in crime from a couple of years ago, Mitch Morton, in the goal square.
It's amazing, Mitch Morton, that he was nearly on the scrap heap there for a while, because he's such a unique talent above his head. He kick free goals. He's gaining consistency now in his game, and he's gone to a new level.
And what a goal, what a boost for Richmond. They desperately needed that.
Yeah, Rewalt and Morton, 4 goals for the Tigers and 4 goals to those 2 players. And the concern probably for Richmond is that if Rewalt doesn't mark it, there hasn't been too much else. Obviously, Morton's done a couple of nice things, but he does need more support, Jack Rewalt, and probably not getting nothing out of Tyrone Vickery. He really does need to lift.
Good grab this from Mitch Morton. You can see Rewalt's kick, and we've spoken about Morton last year spending some time in the VFL, and then he was a run with midfielder, but in 2008-2009 he kicked 76 goals for Richmond. I think he has to play forward and give some support to Rewalt in 2011.
Waite backed himself into the pack and won the footy for his team. Dishes off to Gibbs, who measures the kick to a one-on-one. Eddie Betts. Oh, might have got the arm chop there. Umpire let it go. McGuan to Rance, run down, holding the ball. Brilliantly done by Eddie Betts.
Great call, Quarters. I think that's where Carlton have improved dramatically over the last year, 18 months. He should have got the free kick, you're right, and then he deserved it because he then backed up, didn't worry about not getting the free kick. And Eddie, only the 2 touches, and they've been opportunist touches, and I think that's exactly what he needs to do, because he'll get his shots at goal from marks and he can kick 4 or 5 if he keeps the pressure up like that.
So for his 2nd goal, Eddie Betts. Carlton gets it 6th. Or was it a miss? No, it's a goal. Not much of a Betts celebration there, was there?
No, not at all. Very restrained.
Inside 50 tackles, 6-2, Carlton's favour, and that'll be something that will be high on the list of priorities for Carlton this year, is just that, applying that pressure. They've got Walker, who's got speed. They've got Eddie Betts, who's got speed. Mitch Robinson's down there to apply some pressure. They'll be pretty happy with that part of their game so far.
So it's out to 21 now. Eddie Betts with a couple of goals. Newman's had 10 disposals for Richmond to lead the way. Clearance domination. Will it continue for the Blues? Jackson, some big bodies in there. Cochin spent a lot of time out of there, hasn't he? I mean, I think they haven't had all their. They haven't had as big a pre-season as they would like, some of the midfielders.
Still think it's time to get their absolute guns around the footy. You'd have Martin, you'd have Cochin, you'd have Delidio. Foley's going to do a run with roll, but time, I reckon, to really just get the guns around, see if you can win more clearances than they have been able to so far in this game.
Well, Conker got out the back and he found Delidio, and a bit of style there for the Tigers from Delidio, who gets it out to Edwards. Good short stuff to White. Plays a lot of defensive work off half forward. Ducks inside. Carazzo anticipated, but he couldn't chop off the delivery. And Daniel Jackson full-chested with the mark.
Did well then. He got off Chris Judd. He's got the out-and-out tagging role on Judd, who's had 9 possessions and just lost Judd that time going forward. And he would love an opportunity to score a goal on the 2-time Brownlow medalist.
And that's where getting clearances helps, Das, because he can actually push forward. He's not always chasing, and you can hurt the Carlton midfielders the other way. And I think breaking even more often that will really help the Tiger midfield.
Kicked us 3 goals 5 last year because he played 14 games, missed 5 with suspension. So he had an interesting year, did Daniel Jackson, but they have been spot on in their kicking tonight. That's 5 straight. And it's back to 15 points.
He's another player, Daniel Jackson, who's had a lot of injury troubles, struggling with hamstring problems over summer, but great work there from Conker, and that's where Dar speaks of Delidio. That's a great handball, creates the overlap, and this is a great finish from White. Revolt, all the traffic went to Jack Revolt, and it's a great hit up to Jackson. Daniel Jackson, great reaction there, getting one back on Chris Judd. Judd's been really dominant in this game, but in the leadership group, Daniel Jackson, great goal for the Tigers.
Free kick for a hold going to Richmond. Edwards. Advantage paid. Grigg looks for Revolt. Great strength again from Jack Revolt. Just threw Simon White out of the way, and he'll have a shot for his third goal.
You also got to look at the new advantage rule too there, where the onus is on the player. If the player chooses to play on, that means the umpire will call it so long as the ball hasn't gone over the mark. And it was a great decision to play on from Richmond because it created the one-on-one that Lordy's been talking about. Give this man a one-on-one, you'll back him against anyone.
Shouldn't miss from here for his third. Jack Revolt nails the goal. And it's just 9 points.
How are they within 9 points?
And
15 scoring shots to 6.
Weight off, and we've got the substitute on. So all of a sudden, with a bit of a change in this play, I think the substitute's on. Are you both looking at me as though I made that up? I thought I heard one of you two say it.
But Lloydie said possibly.
No,
possibly.
no,
Sorry, I thought you had called that he'd come on. That would have been a big play, but we'll keep an eye on Matthew Waite and get an update from the boys on the boundary line shortly. But if that is the case, then with a 9-point lead, it is massively game on. Sent a bit of a scare through the camp with that one, boys. You're looking at me like a...
Oh, dear. 9 points is the margin, so the Tigers are somehow in this game. Hampson got it out. The Blues, suddenly some more urgency about them needed. Handball from Judd wasn't clean. Murphy almost made it good. The umpire interferes with a whistle, and again the advantage rule comes into play. Gibbs marches away and kicks beautifully inside 50. Garlett out, maybe just beyond him. He's thinking about laying it off. Walker makes a lead. The big man Warnock pushes back to the square. So Garlett, who was outstanding for Carlton last year, was 6th in the Rising Star, could have been higher. His numbers were terrific. That's a beautiful kick. Why did he ever doubt himself? He's nailed it.
That's where the clearance comes in again. Richmond do so much good work, and they just let the ball out far too easy, which allows Garlett to get on the end of one, lace out, puts another gap on Carlton.
Be careful, because if I pay one, because I don't see it quite right, well, hands are there. Push, you take it, cut it out, get on with it. Both of you cut it out, let's get on with it.
Straight back. Thank you.
No sign of Jared White. They've taken him downstairs for some treatment. He was badly shaken up when he came off the ground. Kane Lucas, in the meantime, is the man at the centre of all attention down here. He's just sitting comfortably with a bit of a smile on his face, not quite sure what to do. There's certainly been no call made on him at the moment. He's still got the green vest on.
Another clearance for Murphy. Looks for Garlett again. Oh, that was a heavy collision too. Delidio's down and hurt. Goes through for a throw in. Delidio gets up a little bit worse for wear.
It's not what the Blues want to see. Jeff Garlett competing like that, and that's what the loss of Jared Waite's going to do to Carlton.
Warnock against Graham. Graham got the tap. Jackson. Kicks only as far as Simpson, who reloads straight away.
Play on.
To the 50. Oh, just overcooked the kick to Robinson. And he coughs it up. Edwards. Beautifully tackled by Judd. Now Cochin grits the teeth and finds the boundary line.
I think if you're Alex Rance at the moment, you'd be hoping Jared Waite comes back on the ground.
It was hard to tell where contact was made, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, it was against you first, your kick. Prohibited contact. That's not on.
It's Robinson being a pest there. The umpire adjudicating.
Do you get points in the dream team for being a pest?
Play on.
Eye contact, advantage paid. Cochin. Graham looking for a small man to come past. Wasn't necessarily a great decision, but Cochin controlled the kick okay. Unfortunately, Morton didn't control the mark, and Brett Thornton letting him know all about it.
Well, you can understand why Graham's got to handball the ball to Cochin, but Cochin's got to put himself in a situation where he can actually kick the ball. He's running directly to the boundary line with no vision, no one around him. The big fella Graham, you've actually just got to take the responsibility yourself and kick it up the line. Even though Cochin's a better option, Cochin's got to put himself in a better spot. And
it's interesting, we'll talk about in a moment what the stats show about the pressure that Cochin is under as the Blues go forward. Duigan initially and again, his kick might favour Betts here. Has he got a trick up the sleeve? He's got one, he's got two, and now he's got 3 goals. 3 tricks, 3 goals.
Absolutely magnificent there from Eddie Betts, but how good was that from Duigan off half-back? He started the run, he's 26 years of age, he'd given up his hope of playing AFL footy, and that was absolutely brilliant there. And we see off the ball, a fair bit of work going on. Mitch Robinson does that every week, so not a lot in that, but absolutely brilliant finish from Eddie Betts. Turned Chris Newman inside out. I think they have to make a change there, but great work from Duigan in his first game of league football.
Well, Eddie Betts, the leading goal kicker for the Blues last year, he kicked 42, and you can just see how good a player he is one-on-one against the captain, Chris Newman.
Oh, here we go, boys.
Yeah, they made the change, Darcy's obviously not right. Jared Wade, he's been badly shaken up. Let's hope there's nothing internal about that. But the red vest has gone on him, and the green vest has come off Kane Lucas. So the Blues are down their substitute now.
Darcy was spot on all along.
Yeah, one step ahead.
A massive loss, though, Jared Waite. Judd in the middle. Picked up by Martin. Kicks to half forward. Duigan again backing himself. Strong play. Yaram. Dinky kick to Robinson. He goes to Curnow. Chip forward and marked by Armfield. So nicely worked by the Blues. They've got it about 70 metres out. To the pocket. No Mark Simpson. Oh, here's Eddie again. Back to Simpson. Oh, ran into the open goal and missed.
Boys, talk some more about this decision and the impact of Jared Waite not being out there, what it's going to do to Carlton.
I think that's the hardest part of this substitute rule is you just do not, you pick a flexible player, Hutto, but when it's a player, like he'd be 20 kilos heavier, 10 centimetres taller, so it's so hard to predict what player to pick, and if it was against a Collingwood or a stronger side, it'd have far more ramifications.
I think we're seeing a combination of the concussion, I suppose, emphasis and the substitute. I don't think they wanted to take a risk with Waite. They were forced to substitute him. Waite is almost the most important player for their structure. If something goes wrong defensively, you want him down there. And as we said, with Simpson on, they have lost a real plus, Carlton.
Here's Robinson going forward to Murphy. Ducking in and out, trying to get clear. Tigers have all their numbers behind the footy at the moment. That is a pretty indiscriminate kick. Really didn't take the mark, but he got a free kick. I wonder if you could bring 2 substitutes in and have the choice of one or the other. The rules committee going again, up to half forward. Here's Yaram breaking clear. This is what Carlton fans want to see. They saw it impressively in the NAB Cup. They're running. They've got big options on the outer side. Hampson, he's got Murphy away. If he spots him inside 50. Instead, he goes to Garlett, who couldn't quite cling on. Murphy's still there running, hoping the ball comes his way. He got a little over-anxious and gave away the free kick.
Yeah, Murphy's dominating, boys. 18 disposals, 6 clearances.
He's had a great record against Richmond over a 3 or 4 year period, Mark Murphy.
Conker. Kicks to Nahas, who plays on immediately. Now, what's on offer here? Edwards, back to Nahas. Now to the wing. So that's pretty well worked by the Tigers. They've broken things open a bit here as Basher Hooley decides to handball. Cochin kicks. And the mark's taken by Graham. So that is well worked from Richmond from defence. And now Graham will have a shot at goal from about 35 metres out.
Matthew Lloyd spoke about this earlier in the game with Jack Revolt being such a good one-on-one player. He draws a lot of defenders. You can see in the middle of the ground, Revolt's in there and everyone had gone towards him, not expecting the kick to go to Graham. Good option from Cochin. He picked out the obvious target. And now it's up to the big ruckman to go back and kick a really important goal here for the Tigers.
This is your point, Hutto. Big ruckman. It's when they get hold of it, you'd love to see them hit the scoreboard hard. We've seen Warnock miss.
Hampson miss.
Can Big Angus Graham. I like the way he plays his footy.
Carlton leads by 22 points. Never looked like missing.
And neither have Richmond missed for the night. There's 7 straight to 8-10.
I'll tell you what, with the substitute on now, and we've got weight off the ground, back to 16 points, all of a sudden, you're just starting to mount a little bit of a case here for Richmond. I think the quality is still there for Carlton. I think the midfield domination is an issue, but I've liked Richmond every time they've gone inside 50. The Carlton defence looks really, really vulnerable. Get in enough, they're a massive chance.
So Jared Waite off, Lucas on. This is, as you said, it's a bit of a double whammy with the rules, isn't it? With the substitution and the concussion rule. So it'll no doubt provoke a lot of debate, as we've heard from the coaches, particularly their opposition to the rule in terms of the sub. So the Blues, can they generate something in the last minute? Out of the middle, looks like they can. Robinson escapes the clutches, left foot kick. Again, Betts is dangerous down there. Murphy, can he get onto the end of it? Outnumbered. McGawan, that was just subtle enough, perhaps.
That's the loss of Jared Waite. You know, he's the player you would love to kick a long ball into, but you'd love to hear from the doctor after the game, Das, to know whether if would Waite have come back on the ground, it was a game last year.
Yeah, absolutely. You think that they would have at least given him some time to think about it, but they decided to pull the trigger, and he can take no further part in the game.
Grigg to Edwards. Oh, straight to Hampson. Play on. It was touch. Betts weaving again. Handballs to Murphy. Kicks a goal. Great stuff, Murphy. Again, brilliantly done by Eddie Betts. And Mark Murphy is having a blinder. 19 disposals, 6 clearances, 6 inside 50s, and now he's got a goal.
Great reward for effort for Mark Murphy. He's been dominating this game, but this decision from Edwards is just hard to fathom. You don't kick an 8-metre ball in defence under any sort of pressure. That had to go 60, 70 metres out and wide to clear the zone. He tried the clever kick, and it just turned into an absolute blowout. Big goal for Carlton.
Just what the Tigers didn't want on half-time.
And that's what sides who haven't had a lot of success for a long time, and inexperienced sides, they kick a couple of goals, they lapse for a second or two, and good sides make you pay. And it's happened time and time again for the Tigers.
So Eddie Betts has had 5 score involvements tonight, including his 3 goals. 20 seconds now. Curnow applying the clamps in the middle. 22 points the margin. Richmond stunningly accurate. 7 goals straight. 3 goals to Jack Revolt. 2 to Mitch Morton. Has kept them in it. 3 goals to Eddie Betts for the Blues. The rest are single goal kickers. Murphy with 19 touches for Carlton. Gibbs with 16. Grigg on debut for Richmond. The former Blue has 14 for the Tigers. So Russell takes them out to the wing with only 7 seconds on the clock. That will just about be it unless they can take a quick kick and mark, which won't happen. So it's Carlton by 22.
9-10-64, Richmond 7 straight 42. But really the Blues should be a lot further in front. It's only their inaccuracy. It has been a total domination by Carlton.
Spot on quarters, 38 inside 50s to 13, 19 scoring shots to 7. They're lucky to be this close to Tigers.
So where's Brett Deledio, Luke Darcy?
He's trying to pick him up. He has started again at half-back. They need to get more out of him.
We start this third quarter. The Blues in front by 22. Only straight kicking has kept the Tigers in the hunt. Graham for Richmond puts them to the 50. Vickery's there, can't take the mark. Revolt's got 3 goals next to his name so far. And we'll have a bounce.
Just the 14 inside 50s for Richmond quarters. So to kick 3 goals from just 14 inside 50s, if they can dominate that area, I can see Jack Revolt getting them back in this match.
Vickery against Warnock in the ruck. Vickery, nice tap. Shark by Jackson, who has a ping at the goals, and there's another one. Great start for Richmond. Beautifully worked.
Well, Daniel Jackson gets his second goal, and given the fact that he has got the role on Chris Judd, that will be a real bonus for him. Judd's had a big influence in the first half, but has just given Jackson a little bit of space around the stoppage twice. Jackson gets a couple, and that is massive for the Tigers. They needed a little bit of a boost in the first half and the second half of this game. Down to Andy Maher, who's got some news on Jared Waite.
Yeah, Das, we can confirm that it was concussion. He looks 100% fine now, and there's going to be questions asked about his availability under last year's rules compared to the new ones this year. And you reckon that Richmond are going to have some petrol in the tank? To half-time, the Blues had 68 interchanges to Richmond's 50, so an 18 differential. You reckon if one side's going to be fresher, they've still got their sub up their sleeve, and they've had fewer interchanges, so look for Richmond to finish on this one strong.
And there's some rain down there, Andy?
Yeah, it's just started. Hutto, it's not heavy, but it's going to make it slippery, no doubt about that.
All right, well, the margin is 16 at the moment. 9-10 plays 8 straight. Warnock over the top. Judd hanging on for dear life on Grigg. Old teammates, there's Curnow, who's started very well. There's been some good signs from most of the debutants. Curnow's had 9 disposals. Dygan's had 4, but had a couple of nice things off the back line for the Blues. And for Richmond, Conker's had 7 disposals, and Batchelor's also had 7. Greasy conditions for the players to cope with now. So Richmond getting the run of play just for the moment. Not sure that was a great handball to Grigg, flat-footed and facing the wrong way, but they didn't lose their cool. Nahas comes away. A couple of handballs are getting further and further into the mire there, the Tigers. Umpire not paying hold on the ball. Conker feels the wrath. They've kept on boxing. That could have been high contact, but it wasn't. Hooley able to paddle. They've just bobbled around there, the Tigers, and kept themselves in it, and it's Grigg that will have the kick, and he usually kicks it long.
Finally, the Tigers kick it, and there's hands in the back, I reckon it is. They're going against Jordan Russell. So things just at the moment going the Tigers' way. Helbig puts Richmond inside 50. Revolt. Nice pick-up. Under pressure from White. And the Blues clear.
How do you see the conditions suiting? Do you think they suit any one team?
Look, I would like to see for Jack Revolt the conditions as dry and as good as possible, because he, to me, is the player that can win the game for Richmond. The rain won't necessarily help him, but at the moment, the Tigers have started the second half with some real intensity.
Judd got them to half forward, Carlton, but that's about where it ended. It's been a very busy half back line for Richmond early in this third quarter. Delidio has a big task here to make sure he hits a target. He did it very well. Set Newman up. He can slice and dice through the middle with good penetration. Dygan playing in front. Pushed off it by Cochin. Gets a second chance. Cochin slipped clear. The Tigers are on their feet. And it's just away to the right. First behind of the night for Richmond.
And probably the 3 best ball users at Richmond in that play. They went coast to coast first with Delidio, then Newman, and then Cochin. They're the 3 players you love getting the footy in the hands for the Tigers.
Laidler to do the kicking in. He goes straight down the guts. Hampson couldn't take the mark. Slippery conditions at the moment. Tigers regain possession. Underneath it is Hooley. And free kick mark, whatever you like. Plays on immediately to Jackson, who's got a little short on here. Taken by White. He can have a shot at goal here. And White nails it. Here come the Tigers.
Well done from Basher Hooley also. It's one of the reasons he was questioned at Essendon. Stood under the ball really well there. Chris Yarran over the top. Hasn't had a great night. Need to hold him up. And this was brilliant poise there from White. Could have easily gone a step or 2 closer. Took his time. And that was a brilliant finish. And just a great goal there and great reaction from Matthew White. And know why it's good too? He's kept Chris Yarran who's the dangerous half-back flanker. Great reaction from the coach as well. He wears his heart on his sleeve. Yaron just the 3 disposals. White 5 and a goal.
Touch of Shane Crawford, wasn't it, about that celebration? Out of the middle, Robinson getting his turn as a clearance player. Asprey did what he had to do, sent Hooley away. It's a different looking Richmond side. Suddenly full of confidence. Live, Revolt snatched it over to Morton, and this is looking pretty good. Or it was. Oh, it still might. Push. Vickery, he was pushed, but he
pushed the back free kick.
He got the free. Thought he threw it. But now, can he work his way through here?
Blown time on, so you've got to go and
get them back within 3 points. Tyrone Vickery has been slow to develop in his first couple of years, but he's had an excellent pre-season.
Thank you.
Can he sneak around
Stay there, thanks.
And put it through?
Stay there, that's okay. Stay there. Stay there.
Here he goes. And he did it. He did exactly what he had to do. And suddenly, Richmond are within 3 points. And they are starting to believe.
Summed that up really well, the big fella Vickery. It's all on the back of this effort from Rewalt. How good is that? Look at him keep his feet in the contest. Splits the pack wide open. Morton's playing as a forward. And I thought Vickery, shove was there from Thornton, pushed him in the back. Vickery, the big fella, summed it up really well. Kicked 5 goals in one of the NAB Challenge games against Port Adelaide. Young developing player who really had a big moment there for his side, Lloydie.
Well done to Vickery. Will do a lot for his confidence and contested possessions. 14 to Richmond and just 4 to Carlton to start this third quarter in these conditions. That is great from the Tigers.
Robinson, the clearance for Carlton. Inside 50 it goes. There's Walker against McGuan. It's a tough footy to control at the moment. Rain coming down. Carazzo not bundled over the line. Yes, he was. Throw in or a free kick. No, free kick.
Right on the mark.
Going to Carazzo.
Wow.
He concedes a little bit of space. Kicks to Dygan, who loads up. Oh, Newman well read. Just managed to get rid of Betts. And the captain for the Tigers takes the mark deep in defence.
We saw in the first half, Carlton just had Richmond trapped in their own defensive half of the ground. They couldn't get out, but now they're able just to move it a little better from half back, and to start the second half, they've got a lot more flow in their game.
And Hooley's starting to come into the game too.
Working a lot harder this third quarter, Hooley.
Jackson to Graham. Ball still in play. Dygan off to Betts. And this is all Richmond. Easy mark taken by McGuan, and they reload from half back again.
Suddenly looking like a much more organised unit, the Tigers. Newman, maybe one bounce too many in the sticky conditions. Disappointing. Will it be a turnover? It will be. Judd powers his way through. Nice little no-look handball to give to Murphy. But the Tigers suddenly holding them in their tracks. And Scotland's got some tough issues. And with the sheer weight of numbers, and now they use those surplus numbers, Richmond can come away through. Nahas out wide to the wing, very wide. And it's over and out, but not a bad result as far as the Tigers are concerned. Could have been a lot worse.
Well, they've been blown away in the first game of the year for the last 2 years against Carlton, and with 9 minutes into the third quarter, a 3-point lead at Carlton's a great competitive effort so far from the Tigers.
Bad breakdown there in the ruck for the Tigers, allowed Warnock a free possession. Beautifully roved here by Garlett, shoots for goal and hits the post.
Do not get any better crumbing than that from Jeff Garlett.
Instant kick in. Marked by Conker, who heads for Cochin. Oh, the umpire was late with the call. It was probably there, but you could see the gritting of the teeth from Scotland. He thought he'd got away with it. The replay will be interesting.
Had a lot of options in the corridor on that occasion, Trent Cochin. He had a heap of numbers. Just didn't look him bored. He's normally got great awareness, and it was an opportunity gone missing because the Richmond were out if he was able to just find that option through the corridor.
The Blues by 4 at the moment. At the front, it's Jackson and Murphy. Murphy's going to go against Martin. He's a hard man to budge. It's Dustin Martin. He showed that last year. Not out yet, the umpire says. Now it is.
Just want to highlight Chris Judd and why he's such a champion. Watch players lose their feet in these conditions and watch Chris Judd. That's the strength and the balance and the poise that he's got and what makes him such a brilliant player.
Vickery the tap, nicely done again. Good ruck work from the youngster to Martin, to Grigg, who shrugs the tackle. That's the shortest of short passes to Delidio. Newman kicks in the nick of time, and it's a good switch too. Rance can get a clean bounce here. And balls to Nahas. Uses his pace to advantage. Evades another one. Now he's got himself into trouble. Back to Rance. To half forward. Races on. It's Thornton against Graham. Thornton did well. Pops one over the top to Simpson. And now on the rebound. Carlton can make the Tigers hurt here. Loose men going forward. That's a pretty ordinary kick by Walker. Hampson couldn't control it with a throw in.
It's a real issue, Lloydie, with Hampson down there in the wet now, isn't it?
It is, and I think he needs to kick one or two. They're sending so much ball through Sean Hampson. He needs to contribute something. He's a real worry because he does drop so many marks.
And especially tough in these conditions. McGuan ducking and weaving and not being able to get out of trouble. They were sweating there, the Blues. The crowd getting anxious, the Carlton fans. They can't believe what they've seen, but look at that. Richmond have used the ball so well in this quarter.
And just paid the price. 18 inside 50s, and they've kicked 10 goals.
Warnock. Murphy's been outstanding. Which way will this one bounce? Asprey needs his wits about him here. He did well. Got it through to Delidio. Nowhere really to go. He had to give the kick everything, which he did. Morton with a fly. Oh, he was gone. He was off. And Laidler wrapped him up, and now it's holding the ball. There's only inches in it. And that's so often the case.
Fair call from the umpire. It was a great grab from Morton, but he definitely tried to play on. The umpire called it right.
Play on. Play on.
Dygan right into the middle of the MCG, marked by Russell. He switches to White, who kicks to half forward. Mark's taken by Simpson. Play on's the call. Run off his line. Now he drills it inside 50, looking for Armfield. Knocked away by Jackson. McGuan put out the elbow, and he's been penalised for it.
Yes, he took off.
Well, advantage has been paid, has it?
It was high.
Yeah, it was, and it's a behind.
Advantage.
Didn't hear the advantage call, but it was paid, and it's a behind, and it was kicked by whom?
Andrew
Walker.
Have a look at that scoreline. 9-12, so 21 scoring shots to 11, and yet only a 5-point lead to Carlton, and that will be the scoreboard pressure, the perceived pressure. You should be thinking that you're further ahead. If you're a Carlton player, you're not. All of a sudden, Richmond have got a sense of maybe we can pull off a miracle win here in round one, Hutto.
And there's their sub. Dan Connors has come on for Nathan Foley. The kick goes to half forward. Edwards bursting through half forward. Rewalt got a little bit of a shove. It fell for Helbig, but only momentarily. Rewalt, he shows there's more to his game than just the big mark and the big goal. Laying the big tackle, and they've wrapped it up.
And I've been there before, Hutto, when the yellow and black fans, they get a bit behind them, and I reckon they're ready to explode to us. If they can kick the next goal, Richmond, they'll put Carlton under enormous pressure.
He sounded like a man who's experienced it, not necessarily in a nice way, Lloydie.
No, terrible way, Hutto.
On the wing, they scrap for it. Big Vickery's in amongst it, but it is the Tigers that get it away. Helbig, it's all Carlton there. They finally sort themselves out. Thornton's got Gibbs and also Dygan breaking. It was not great service for Dygan, but the kick will be okay eventually, and Gibbs takes the mark with plenty on over the top.
He kicks to Russell. Runner-up in the best and fairest for Carlton last year. That's not a great handball. Somehow ends in the hands of a teammate, though, Scotland. Gets it back to Russell.
High.
And free kick going Richmond's way.
They just don't have an effective forward target, boys, Carlton, do they, at the moment?
Well, we spoke about Jared Waite as a sub. I'm sure before the game there was no plan at all to substitute Jared Waite. He looked as though he got some concussion, and maybe with the pressure now on the doctors to not send players back out, if there's any doubt about concussion, Jared Waite's gone off, and we spoke about it maybe being the turning point. Well, for me it is. He's really upset their structure. They haven't got, as you said, Hutto, something to go through up forward at the moment.
Murphy and Judd combined. Picked up by Lucas, who is the sub-4 weight. Puts it inside 50. Walker, little toe poke before Richmond here. Nice pick up under pressure from Rance. And finishes it off nicely too. Hooley pops one over the top to White. Good kick to half forward to Graham. Can he get it quickly to Revolt? Should get it moving quickly. That's an awkward kick for Revolt. Works his way to the front, and all's well that ends well.
He's just a star, this man. The Carlton medalist from last year. Lloyd, he spoke about one-on-ones as a superstar forward, Matthew Lloyd. And looking at this young man, you just get a sense, if you give him any opportunity one-on-one, Lloyd, he is good enough to beat anyone.
Love to see that replay again and talk you through the way Jack Revolt read the play compared to Simon White's. Too concerned about Revolt.
Revolt for his 4th straight goal for the evening. This would put Richmond in front. Can you believe it? The Blues' biggest lead in the match was 22 points. And now Richmond lead by 1.
4 goals in a row to start the second half for the Tigers. Who would have thought that at half-time? Weight went off, substitute came on, and just a little bit of lapse in concentration here from Carlton. All of a sudden, Tigers have got the front. We've got a massive game on our hands.
Just love this bit of vision. Watch when the ball's going forward. Deep in your TV screen where Simon White, all he's doing is worrying about Jack Revolt. No eyes on the football whatsoever. And that's what a good forward does, reads the play. Brilliant from Jack Revolt.
So Richmond, in a stunning turnaround, are in front by a point. And things are just going their way at the moment. Cochin could have gone to the Lydio, but he wants to get in there quick because the guns are ablazing. Pushed out of it that time, Revolt. It gets through to Morton. On the borderline of being high contact there from Laidler. It will be a bounce.
The really good players, Hutto, have got this great presence on the field. Revolt wasn't in a great position then. The kick wasn't great. But just the fact that he's around, defenders get nervous. What should have been an easy defensive mark, all of a sudden, a ball up 30 metres out. Another chance here for Richmond.
Hampson could have grabbed it out of the ruck initially, but Carlton are going to come away. But there's nowhere to go for Chris Judd other than into the space. And now Garlett can use his ability to run, but he fumbled. And it's all turned sour for the Blues. He recovered pretty well, but his wandering left foot kick actually turned out to be the best result possible for Carlton because he had nowhere else to go. And there was no conviction about him at the moment.
And they have really lost their structure. The Jared Waite loss, as Dar said, so important. Warnock and Hampson just do not look comfortable as the focal point in the forward line.
Get your coaches' hats on, boys. What can he do, Brett Ratton? Here's Lucas providing a contest. Betts surrounded. Oh, Garlett almost got a boot to it. The second time he did, but it's touched. We'll argue the point there, but it's behind, and scores are level.
I think you go back, Hutto, to your best one-on-one players, your best forwards, and with Wade off, it's not necessarily always the one that looks the way you want him to. Hampson doesn't look likely, Lloyd. He's absolutely right. Neither does Warnock. Eddie Betts, to me, has been their next most dangerous forward. I would give him space. Let him play forward. He can mark, he can lead. Give him an opportunity one-on-one.
Jackson got caught high. Accidentally won by Tiger. Nevertheless, it's a free kick. Nahas had a good third quarter. Vickery has time to recover. Kicks down the line and read by Judd, but it bounced off his chest. That allows Helbig into the pitch. A nice handball. Hit Cochin. High ball inside 50. Oh, Revolt! Again! And he's going to line up for goal number 5.
New opponent?
Yeah, Thornton was on him on that one-on-one, so...
And not ideal, Hutto, because he does not lay any body contact. Brett Thornton doesn't like it. He's going okay there because it's a high ball, but he loves to sit off, loves to zone off, and Jack Revolt will love that.
So... Revolt for his 5th straight for the evening. Scores a level. He's hooked that one slightly. Richmond lead by that behind.
See Brett Ratton throwing his arms out their quarters, and what he's saying is that Brett Thornton thought the man flying across the screen was going to do the job for him defensively. When the man didn't touch the ball, couldn't pick up who that was in defence for Carlton. Thornton hadn't had a body position where he was able to compete with Revolt, so all of a sudden It's exactly what we thought pre-game. If Riewoldt catches fire, if you get him enough one-on-one opportunities, Richmond are a chance.
Blues trapped in the back pocket. Tigers turning the screws a little here, perhaps. Gibbs with a delicate handball. Didn't do enough. They're swarming Richmond. Connors on the bounce. Hard stuff from Robinson was good stuff for Carlton. They need that at the moment. And they get out of... Oh, do they get out of jail? He made the fumble, Robinson. Cochin put his body on the line. This is Scotland now. Under pressure, Robinson has a third go. Tired legs. Kicks to half forward. They're outnumbered. Oh, Walker rolled the dice, had a crack. No infringement. Vickery got a long time to get a handball away. Rance it was, in fact, in there. Let's have a look at the interchanges. And as we saw early, Carlton had the rotations working much quicker in the first 2 quarters. But in this 3rd quarter, Richmond have been able to match them, or have decided to match them in the rotations. We'll keep watching that and try and work out what it means going into the last quarter.
5 minutes to go, or just under 6 minutes in this 3rd quarter. It's been 4 goals, 2 to the Tigers, and just 3 behinds to Carlton. Big 5 minutes of footy, Dust.
I think you pointed out before, Lloydie, about Trent Cotchin. Just 1 possession the first quarter. He's had 11 since. He is a big factor in this game.
Curnow to Gibbs. Kicks to a one-on-one. Rance wrestles with Walker. Desperate stuff from Rance. Deliberate cries Walker. Umpire says throw it in.
I think what's helped the Tigers, the midfield and the contested ball. No longer can Andrew Walker just lead up at the football. Every kick is going to a contested situation.
That's a push out against Murphy. Yep. And in fact, Graham's going to get the free kick for in the back. Murphy also pushes his opponent out of the contest. Doesn't matter. Richmond have got the ball. Graham kicks long to the wing. Morton in front. Can't take them up. Beautiful roving by Nahas. Broke the tackle. Split the line. Now Martin kicks to a one-on-one. And guess who? Riewoldt's got it again. And this time he's well within range and will line up for goal number 5.
Well, Lloydie, you pointed it out. You said Brett Thornton will want to play in front. He doesn't want body contact. And you can see there, he has not got body contact at all on a man who is looking more dangerous than in on the field. Exactly what you're talking about, we're seeing on your screen, Lloydie. Not the matchup for Jack Riewoldt.
They are missing Michael Jamieson more than ever. That was very poor from Brett Thornton.
Richmond lead by 7 points. Riewoldt's got 5.
Well called, Das. I think that I'd take him off him. I think White, I'd even go back to White. I know he was outpointed. Riewoldt is a brilliant player. I'm trying to look at if there's any other options as White is heading back down there now. So I think there's no real other option, but Brent Thornton is definitely not the man.
Oh, the Tiger fans, they are up and about at the moment. And Carlton are totally stunned. They've made the move. White's gone back to full back on Riewoldt. There's no other options at this stage. Warnock with the extra centimetres over the top. Carlton have just lost their dominance out of the middle. Carlton fans perhaps suggesting that they haven't had the run with the umpires. Mitch Robinson to take it. Even he, you can see the indecision on his face. Doesn't know where to go. It's a big up and under. Have they got anyone down there to take a big mark? Not at the moment. Newman, McGuan, uncertainty. Yaron coming at him from behind, but he kicks it out. Scotland made it a 50-50. Richmond will be pretty happy with that. Nahas. And it's a ball up.
There's not a lot of footy, Nahas, but every time he's got it, he's broken a line. And I've loved the quarter from Angus Graham. I think he's becoming the most dominant ruckman in the game. I think he's got on top of Warnock and also Hampson.
Certainly turned it around from quarter time where Warnock had total dominance. You're right, Graham's helped him get back into it.
Lucas gives it to Simpson. Handballs to Robinson, just throws it on the boot. And the Tasmanian puts it out of bounds on the full.
Just all Carlton's structure, all their poise, all their forward pressure has just fallen apart so far in the third quarter. 5 goals in a row to Richmond.
Batchelor to Rance. Oh, little pass has come off. It's marked by Cronker.
I think with 3 minutes to go, Hutto, your point's a good one. What can Carlton do inside 50? Things aren't working for them. Could they try Chris Judd? Can they afford to take him out of the midfield for 10, 15 minutes to key a couple of goals?
Batchelor's been impressive in his debut. There's Morton. Armfield. It's a nice pick up by Curnow. Laidler. Gives it off to Carazzo. Short to Lucas, so this is a nice build-up by the Blues. Lucas picks his moment. Cut off and mopping up is Cochin. Got rid of it in the nick of time. Newman. And it's a penetrating kick from the Richmond skipper. It's a beauty. It's off to Grigg.
Who goes to half forward. On the bounce. Young Helbig got it. Too far out to score. He just went as long as he could. Unfortunately, his accuracy was well astray.
Just that build-up before from Carlton. They had Simpson, who's one of their better kicks in space with time on the wing going inside 50. Got a lead from Walker, but their forward line, apart from that, just had nothing else going for it at all. And we keep harping on the fact Jared Waite's been substituted off with concussion. At the moment, going forward, it looks as though the Richmond defence are on top on every occasion. And not only that, they're actually rebounding it and hurting Carlton back the other way.
They are devoid of confidence at the moment, Carlton. Stuck on half back. Lucas goes short for Laidler. Locked up. Gibbs. Situation not improving for them. Even though they're maintaining possession. They're not panicking, but they're not finding a way through either. Dygan. He's off now. The pressure will mount. He has to go long. They need Warnock to take a grab. Hampson hit the pack. Not sure that he really did his team any good there, because Warnock was going to be a chance to take the mark. Free kick goes to Connors, who goes short to Vickery. By hand to Jackson, and then delicate kick was aimed for Edwards. No good as it turned out. Not a good time to fumble, is there ever, from Scotland. Off the ground, Helbig. Dangerous territory for the Carlton defence. And that's an overexcited handball from Russell.
I think this just shows how much Carlton are struggling forward. Look at that, 50 inside 50s to 26, and they are down in this game.
Jackson, good tackle. Managed to get the handball off, though, to Asprey, who puts it out of bounds on the full.
It just shows, Das, when you miss opportunities. I've seen North lose a grand final to Adelaide, missing too many shots in the first half, and you know, Carlton could have put Richmond away, but full credit to Richmond. They've been sensational in this third quarter.
What Brett Ratton has to do at 3 quarter time, Lloydie, is just shake up his forward line. We've spoken about Betts, who looked dangerous one-on-one. I think he needs to get some space. Walker's looked okay. I don't think the two ruckmen can play there in the last quarter. They've got to find other options. As you said, maybe Judd Ford's a good option.
Judd does the spoiling deep in defence on Revolt there. Third man up and knocked it over the line. So still an opportunity for the Tigers. They lead by 7 points. Just over half a minute remaining in the third quarter. They trailed at half-time by 22, the Tigers.
Have they got one more in them here, Richmond? They're certainly in a dangerous position. No one in the square. Cochin's kick fades away.
I spent all pre-season Carlton with Chris Yarran playing across half-back, and it's a move that I really like. But what's happened is that every other side's had a good look at it. Yep. So Matthew White's been set tonight. His whole job has been to stop Chris Yarran as a defensive forward. Yarran has not been anywhere near it. 3 possessions, but I can't even remember those 3. Maybe it's time for him, Lloydie, to go back up forward, see if he can release the shackles, make White the play as a defender. They've got to change something up here, Carlton.
20 seconds remaining. Hooley just beyond his range. Asprey's deep in the square. Going to get a run at it here. He might just leave it for Jack. He does. Leave it for Jack. Why not? Oh, he's run around right on the bell. Oh, they'll be feral, the Tigers now. And they deserve to be.
Oh, they're up and about.
No one saw this coming. Jack Revolt has kicked his 6th goal of the game, and Richmond lead by 14 points They'd be singing the theme song if they could.
6-goal turnaround in that quarter, Anthony.
How good is it to watch Jack Revolt play the game of Australian rules football? All 6 goals of that quarter go the way of Richmond. And that
look at the body language, Luke, between the two teams. Look at Richmond and look at Carlton.
They are as flat as anything, Carlton. 6-0 third quarter. Rewalt's got 6, Lloydie, up and about. What a massive start to season 2011. Now it goes back to Carlton. They've got to respond.
The yellow and black army have found their voice, and why not? This man, Jack Revolt, the Coleman medalist from last year with 78 goals, has started season 2011 with 6 in the first 3 quarters. And Richmond, a 6-goal turnaround in that turn. They trailed by 22. Now they lead by 14. 13 goals 3 to 9 goals 13. Could we have a massive boil over in the first game of the season? So Jack Revolt's the story, boys, but so is this controversial new concussion rule. Maybe that has changed the fortunes of Richmond in this game, Andrew Marr.
It's going to be a big talking point, I reckon, quarters. Jared Waite looks ready to play, but he obviously can't. They had to make the call just before half-time. Richmond kept some interchanges up their sleeve in that first half. They got heavy and busy in that third quarter. They're the ones on top of the ground as we start this final term.
Win, lose or draw. It'll be fascinating to hear Brett Ratton's thoughts after the game.
Certainly will. Robinson blasted it forward. He's had 24 disposals, Mitch Robinson, but haven't all hit a target.
No, not a huge effect. And as good as Revolt was, I thought Grigg, Jackson's roll on Judd, Basher Hawley and Angus Graham were all enormous in that third quarter.
So I wonder what the effect of Brett Ratton's been able to have on his troops at 3-quarter time as Newman outpoints Eddie Betts to start this last quarter.
Talking about presence on a football field before Hutto and Jack Revolt, he just has got that already. Players know, opposition players know when he's around, but so many times Carlton, when you talk about presence, they go to their skipper, Chris Judd, and they'll be looking to him to get them out of jail here in the last quarter. Judd needs a big final term.
Conker with the kick to half forward. Hampson with the spoil, but it's Edwards, and where's he going? Where else? It's Jack. He's looking for his 7th. He won't get it there. Oh, Laidler. He knew he was under pressure, just had to walk it through, which he eventually did very unconvincingly. And now Carazzo can set Robinson away again and then over to Gibbs.
Robinson's been good. He's had 25 disposals. Gibbs to the wing, marked by Betts. We set this game alight early. It's been quiet since then. Judd gets the handball received, runs to 45, and the champ nails a very important goal. Oh, talk about leading from the front there.
How many times has he done that before, Chris Judd? His team needs him. He just steps up and he delivers every single time, and that is why when he finishes his career, he will be one of the all-time greats of AFL football.
I think he needed to, because Daniel Jackson has gone forward and kicked 2 for the Tigers. So I think he has to hurt the scoreboard far more as Chris Judd. Just the 14 goals last year.
The great players just get a sense of when their side needs them, and this man, Chris Judd, Carlton captains, won the last 3 best and fairest in his first 3 seasons at Carlton. He just knows that he needs to stand and deliver. He does it time and time again. He's the man for Carlton this final quarter.
Of course, he's second Brownlow last year. Had career highs in disposals, contested possessions and clearances. You made the point before the game, Das. It'd be great for Carlton if someone else could win a best and fairest, because it would show that as a team, they've got more than just Chris Judd to get them going. They need all the help they can get at the moment. Cochin takes the Tigers up to the 50, where Laidler and Morton having a little bit of a struggle.
And we spoke about what Carlton need to do in the forward half. They've now got Warnock at the top of the goal square with 5 smalls around him. So I think that he's the better option, more so than Sean Hampson out of the goal square.
So Hampson in the ruck against Vickery, takes front position and was able to control it, but Vickery got there first at the ground level, put the pressure on White. Revolt, crowd yelling just when he gets anywhere near the ball. He just couldn't get boot to ball there effectively anyway. He wanted a free, I think. Brett Rosebery
just on that, he's cat-like at ground level, so good in the air, and then when the ball hits the deck, he's so quick. So that's why he's so hard to stop, and there's not many good matchups in the competition who can actually go with him.
Move it on. Play on.
First gamer for Carlton, Curnow, kicks towards another debutant in Dygan. Well spoilt by Trent Cotchin.
And that's where the Richmond pressure has really closed in on Carlton. No longer are we seeing players, get uncontested marks like they were in the first half. Richmond have really stopped Carlton's run.
Vickery goes to the back door to Martin with strength, breaks a couple of tackles, then caught one high. No, umpire said holding the ball, and actually it's a pretty good decision from the ump. Took a couple of tacklers on, finally got nailed.
Just thinking about Carlton's emergencies, they wouldn't mind Henderson being able to come on the ground, would they?
Yeah, it's a good point. Down on the ground, not sure why it was named emergency, but Carlton people are saying he's still 2 weeks away from playing. But you're right, he was so important to them in the latter half of last year also.
I think he played in at least one of the pre-season games, but just not enough, I think.
Good kick by Thornton to half forward to the 200-gamer Scotland. Beautiful pass, and Andrew Walker's taken the mark.
You spoke of Walker, didn't you, Das, about the finishing skills of him, and this is a huge kick for him.
I think that's why they've decided to play him as a forward, because across half-back he's got all this great athleticism and aerobic capacity, but hasn't had the awareness and the skills to really, I suppose, set them up from half-back. They've moved him forward, but that means he has got some deficiency in his kicking for goal. This is a big one for him.
Tigers currently lead by 10. Oh. 1 goal, 3 tonight for Andrew Walker.
And I mentioned earlier they were the most accurate side in front of the sticks last year. Carlton, look at that. Doesn't take long into a season, does it? And what a season it is for Brett Ratton. We don't want to start talking about it too early, but it would be a nightmare of this in his last year of his contract if they had to lose this first game tonight. Everyone pretty much expected them to win. Russell with the skyscraper up and down. You heard the call from the umpire to play on, but it was deemed too high. Quick hands off. Connors gave to Grigg and then to Cotchin. Just summed it up that Martin to be able to find his way through, which he very nearly was able to, but not with much conviction. Hurley put him back under the pump, and Carlton, through wealth of numbers, eventually prevail. Up and under from Russell, not great. Asprey gets the rounds of the kitchen, and the ball is over and out. So the margin is 9 in Richmond's favour.
Warnock against Vickery. Vickery got the front posse, tapped it to Jackson, couldn't control it. And Curnow kicks into the forward 50.
Just want to ask
got lined up there.
Sorry, Quarters. Murray down on the boundary line. Have you noticed a huge rise in sort of intensity from the Tigers, or a drop in the Blues since half-time?
Oh, certainly Richmond's way, Lordy. It's been detectable, and at three-quarter time, the huddles could not have been more vastly different from one another. All the momentum and energy was with the Tigers.
Betts manages to get boot to ball, but an ineffective kick. First game of Conker. Can he conjure here? Oh, ran into Simpson, lost the football. Opportunity for Curnow. Kick slews off the side of the boot. Not 15 play-ons the call. Fisted forward by Scotland. Oh, it's a hot footy now. This is a big contest coming up. That's a rush behind.
And you talked about Chris Yarran a bit today, Lordy and Darson. Matthew White's got into his head, and Chris Yarran's not even looking like a player who wants to engage himself in the contest at the moment. He's one that can spark Carlton, and the last 20 minutes, if they're going to win this game, you suspect he's going to need to provide something pretty special.
It's a good point, Murray. He's just had 3 possessions. Chris Yarran, Matthew White has absolutely taken him out of the game. I think they've got to move him, get him into the contest.
He's an improved player as Tyrone Vickery, which is very welcome news for Richmond, and they worked their way. Edwards, little sidestep just at the right moment, was terrific. We know Hurley can kick long. This time he goes wide, which will give Carlton time to set some structures up in defence. Morton was able to chase it down, and they used Nahas to get it back to Morton on the overflow. Plenty of Blues numbers back though. Thornton happy to see it over. Perhaps didn't need to take it over because Carlton had some extra bodies back there, but at least no score for Richmond at this stage. The margin is still in their favour though, 8 points the difference.
Warnock goes up uncontested. White somehow ended up with a football. Handballs towards the boundary line. Robinson's been good. So is Curnow in his first game. Nice handball to Murphy. kicks no one home. Now, is that deliberate? It doesn't matter anyway because it's out of bounds on the full. Didn't have anything to kick to up forward, Matthew.
Yeah, they've lost their structure completely, and that's what happens when you look up at the scoreboard and you've kicked 10 goals, 15, a lot of players shy away from even wanting to have a shot at goal, and I've spoken of the confidence in this game has completely changed.
Conker backs himself, has a bounce. Not the best of kicks, and the mark's taken by Scotland. A little bit of hint of panic there from the Tigers.
Move it on. Play on.
Scotland with a cool head. Drives it long, looking for Hampson. Goes up one-handed, back of the Packers, Walker. From a tight angle. Out of bounds on the full.
Since Jared Waite's gone off, it's been 8 goals, 5 to 4-6.
Just at the other end, there's Brett Thornton, who had about 5 minutes on Jack Riewoldt. Brett Ratton decided that wasn't going to work, so he's actually said to him, you play loose, get into the hole in front of Riewoldt. And you can see that now. There's Thornton always trying to go back and block the space in front of Riewoldt.
Helbig didn't panic and was able to not make the mistake. Martin chipping ball wide is all right for Hooley. He's been big since quarter time.
Again, you can see there's Thornton right in the hole. Got to go over the top of him and try and find Riewoldt.
Couldn't get it over Thornton. Oh, spoiled by his own man. Tigers sweating, still ready. Thornton did well to get it to Murphy. Can go from half back. Oh, but it wasn't a well-placed ball. Tough over the top for Lucas. Cochin, cat-like, takes it away. Gives it to Delidio. Tigers winding. Where's Jack? He's coming. Can't get there this time. He's still involved, though, when the ball hits the turf. Morton will get there first. Looks to his right, and that's where he gives it. Left foot from Connors. High ball. Across the face. Is a behind.
Matthew, I know that Riewoldt's had a great game, but the last 2 or 3 times up forward, they've just pumped it long. Just more than in hope than anything else.
Yeah, exactly. I think they've got to be conscious of that because there are other players loose when Brett Thornton and the like do zone off. So I think he's such a key target. That's why Damien Hardwick often gets criticised, saying we've got to find other options. But I think that's exactly what he's talking about.
Brave stuff from Carazzo there. Blues come away. Again, ineffective in the kick. Thornton just got it out of danger as soon as he could.
Ruck duel's been interesting. Hampson and Warnock for Carlton started really well. Hampson took a big, strong mark. They both had shots at goal that they missed. And then from quarter time onwards, I reckon Graham's really got Richmond back into the contest, competed really, really well. And alongside him, Tyrone Vickery's done a good job as well.
Carlton fans want a free kick for holding the ball. They're not happy.
Yeah, I reckon they should have got one. He's a tough player, Helbig. He gets in there and works really hard. I think that should have been dropping the ball to Carlton's way. But you're right, I reckon Angus Graham, he's a real workhorse. Love his work ethic.
Gee, Cochin's coming into the game. Great clearance, working close. Not touched off the boot, said the umpire. Ball goes inside Richmond's 50. Morton. Holding the ball. Carlton get that free kick. And the quick kick from White.
Got a nice spray. Mitch Morton from Jack Riewoldt there said he should have given the first handball off. Riewoldt was out.
Now Simpson didn't fire that where he wanted to. Impossible for the giant Warnock to get there with the fleet-footed Tiger defence. Slipping into gear again. Nahas giving him that run. Helbig has got better and better as the game's gone on. Not the best of kicks to half forward. Thornton, he's playing the loose man. I mean, Richmond have got one at the other end, so it's not easy going forward. Judd goes long, sets it up in the pocket. Walker still trying to take mark of the year. Can't take it that time. Betts is there. Conker charges out. Good tackle, though, from Walker. Well done, but Richmond steady enough for the moment. They line up across half forward, and the big man, Hampson, didn't drag it down. Cochin kicks and kicks cleanly, and now Hooley can just pump it forward again for Richmond. A little bit of in betwixt and in between, and well done by Dygan. Got a touch of the Andy McKays about him, I reckon, has young Dygan. He's a great story.
Judd described him as Andy McKay with hair.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, he's academic as well, not veterinary science, but psychology, I think, isn't it? He's got the master's degree in. Ball still alive at centre half forward for the Blues, but not for long as Hooley takes it away.
He's got better as the game's gone on, as has Cochin. Grigg, the former Blue, kicks to the 50, but it's cut off by Scotland. Something's going to give soon. Richmond by 9. Mark taken by Hampson. Bronx cheers from the Blues fans. Gives it off to Simpson. On the left boot, and that's a better kick. That's better delivery inside 50 to the forwards. And the mark's taken by Eddie Betts.
So stark, isn't it? Because we haven't seen it much.
Well, I think it's a better structure, Hutto. I don't think Warnock at the moment looks like getting near the footy at all as a full forward. He's your best option one-on-one, Betts. I would get Warnock off the ground. They had a plan at the start to have the rucks rotate through full forward. It's not working. Get them off and therefore create some space for this man.
Betts has got 3. And that's the way it stays. Richmond, with a big upset brewing, lead by 8 points, just past the halfway mark of the final quarter.
Do they believe they can win the Tigers?
Robinson just couldn't quite hang on to the mark. Did well again, though. Scrubby old kick into the pocket, marked by Deledio. 27 disposals for Mitch Robinson.
I feel Hutto on.
Oh, Deledio has the kick partially smothered. A snap by Garlett is home. What a mistake.
Just about to say on Hutto's point that they will need to kick another couple of goals, Richmond, because you just feel that Carlton's going to keep coming, especially with just under 10 minutes to go in the game. So they have to keep attacking the goals, Richmond, and they cannot go into their shells. Porter spoke of the horror mistake here from Deledio. Usually great by foot, great pressure there from Garlett, but Richmond have to attack. They have to kick another couple of goals if they are to win this game. They can't just try and hold on.
2 to Garlett, 3 to Betts, the small men, the multiples for the Blues. Richmond do go forward. Asprey has been moved into the forward line but couldn't hang on to the mark. Lucas started the game as a sub, works with Lader, and now Curnow, who works it off the left boot, hoping for Robinson up. He couldn't mark. Armfield did well, just blazed a path through. Perfect delivery for Betts. Suddenly it's happening again for the Blues. Judd looks to the left but decides to go long to full forward, and Hampson drags it down like he's a 100-goal kicker. That's how he started the game. Since then he hasn't been able to catch one for love nor money, but that looked good.
Well done to Brett Ratton. He's persevered. I thought that it was time to make the move and get them off. This is the ball that will suit Hampson against Rance. He's in the box seat. You saw him pluck one early. It hasn't been sighted since. Now he needs to go back to and kick it. Hasn't looked likely.
Yeah, he missed the last one, but he gets his hands to so many balls. He could be a far greater player if he could just pluck even half of them.
So, all eyes on Sean Hampson to put Carlton back in front. He's done enough. No, he hasn't done enough. It's a behind. And shake of the head from Brett Ratton. It's a long night at the office.
Oh, the pressure. It's only the first game of the season. Look at the stress on the coaches' faces. It's Richmond by a point. That's not a great kick to a 3-on-1. Scotland couldn't take the mark, but he should have got the free kick for a high tackle. Had his head ripped off. Hold the mark, he says to himself. Game 200 tonight for Heath, Scotland. 50 out from the Blues goal. Graham the tap, shark by Judd. Great balance again. Fed it to Scotland. Gibbs ducked his head. Umpire wave the arms, play on. Scotland's run down holding the ball. Good pressure by the Tigers' defence.
It's a great chase from Cochrane, but no shepherding, no blocking at all from the Carlton midfielders. Just all trying to do it on their own. Not a great sense of teamwork.
Cochrane, an outstanding second half. Asprey has just kept it alive. Now it's a throw in.
Tell you what, that's Matthew White who took that ball over. He just had 8 disposals and a goal, and that doesn't sound all that impressive, but he has done a great job for his side tonight. Completely wiped Chris Aaron out of the game. A couple of big rundowns and chases from behind. Good team role from Matt White.
Richmond hanging on by 1. Carlton really getting on top in the contested situation at the moment. As they started this game, haven't been able to convert. Curnow flows. Hampson's got to go again. How's the Giant going to go this time? No mark. It's probably better for his team. Armfield inks it out. He squeezes it through, and Carlton are back in front.
Darcy's spoken of the role of Matthew White. Well, Arnfield's been that player for Carlton. He's been moved to the half-forward flank because his ball use hasn't been good enough for a number of years across half-back. And whether it's been Delidio or a Newman, he's stuck to his task all night as well and has been really important in the last 10 minutes of play.
What a start to the season.
Carlton by 5 points. Still plenty of time left in this contest.
Carlton have got all their guns in the midfield for this centre clearance. Gibbs, Murphy, Judd, Warnock to try and get it out here for the Blues.
Edwards gets besieged. Lost possession. Now Grigg for Richmond. Bangs it onto the boot to centre half forward. No one home for either team. It's a ball to be won. Lucas stripped of possession. Simpson off to Gibbs, and he steadies at half-back. Kicks in the direction of Yaron, who's found him. He's had a quiet night. Nahas gives chase. Inside 50 goes Carlton. Garlett takes the mark.
Gee, they're buzzing now.
Garlett, little daisy cutter, looking for Russell unsuccessfully. Nahas got caught high. Duck the head, said the umpire. Play on. Garlett again. Left foot snap. Touched off the boot. And we will have a throw in.
Yeah, the umpires have put the whistle away in this last quarter, and
Don't say that.
they have. They've just let a number of free kicks go, which you don't mind. And Chris Yaron, Darcy called it. He's now gone forward.
Give him a run.
He should be onto you, Lordy. Throwing in the pocket. Here's Betts for number 4, but no. So Judd's on the bench at the moment. He'll no doubt have one last run in this match, and Carlton try and seal it. It's a goal in it, and it might be more in a moment because Robinson's been able to take the mark on the way out.
Turned over the ball a few times, but still had his hand on the pill 28 occasions in this match, Mitch Robinson. Long ball into the goal square. It's the points. Carlton leads by 7. 60,654 here tonight. Still plenty of time for the Tigers. Short one from Delidio. Cochin. Oh, it's a poor kick. Carlton get it back. Morton lays a crunching tackle. Dygan fed out the ball. There's Yaron. The whistle has gone away. Now it's blown, and we'll have a ball up in Carlton's attacking half.
Yeah, stand up, guys. No battle.
Just glancing down the other end, what Damien Harvick's decided, he's not going to allow Thornton to be free in front of Riewoldt. He's picked him up one-on-one, and so Riewoldt's had to go back and get Morton in the goal square.
Forward by Warnock. So 45 out from the Blues goal. 5 minutes to go. Carlton by 7 points. They led by 22 at halftime. Richmond in a 6-goal turnaround, led by 14 at the last change. But the Blues have fought back well.
So there we saw Asprey trying to make Thornton accountable. Comes down to White, round the corner. Simpson had to wait an eternity. But eventually sat for him, but he... panic's probably not the right word, but didn't choose the right option as it turned out. He goes in pretty hard again to try and win it back. How will the umpire adjudicate that one? It's a ball up.
Thank you. Thanks.
So 91 Carlton, 84 Richmond. A hard stopper to start the season. Free kick to Carlton.
Stay there.
Goes to Warnock. Fairly congested area ahead. Big Hampson is the long target again. Who's ready when it hits the ground? It doesn't hit the ground because Hampson has come out to take the mark. Oh, but he kicked straight.
I did not see this coming. He just isn't fluent with his kicking, but you look, he's got the size. He's mobile. He's still learning the game, big fella, but he's kept persisting. Maybe third time lucky Hutto here for big Sean Hampson.
5 marks on the night, 2 behinds so far. Maybe this time. Carlton fans hold their breath collectively. And there's one massive sigh of relief from the big man, Sean Hampson.
Yeah, I'm with you, Lloydie. Stand corrected. I thought it was time to get the big boys out of the goal square. They hadn't looked likely for the best part of 3 quarters. And when it's counted, Brett Ratton knows best because he obviously liked the match-up. He thought that they were capable. And Big Hampson has kicked a really crucial goal that just about puts enough gap in Richmond to make it too hard from here.
First goal to Hampson. Carlton by 13 points. Chris Judd's had a 4-minute break. He's just come back out on the ground. And Warnock gets the clearance, puts Carlton back into attack. Underneath it is Betts, no mark. Robinson. Good handball to Judd. Carlton captain chips short and sideways and finds Gibbs. 26 disposal coming up for Bryce Gibbs.
Go to him again here.
Pops it up to the danger spot. Bet stays down. Walker seals the issue for Carlton. Boy, they've come back hard. That's a great fight back by Carlton. The question was asked and they have responded brilliantly.
They have quarters, and there's a couple of unsung heroes for Carlton. Obviously, Judd has been enormous in this last quarter, but Ed Curnow has actually had 11 disposals in this last quarter and is now up to 24 for the match in his first game. So that is a huge effort from Ed Curnow. They were challenged us, and it's just been a game of turnarounds. The Tiger supporters devastated what might have been Ed Curnow. 11 disposals in this last quarter.
He came 3rd in the Liston medal last year despite breaking his leg in round 13. Amazing stuff. Murphy into 50. Here's Betts for his 4th. Had plenty of time to sum it all up, and he couldn't get it where he wished.
And that's just where you see the class of Carlton, is it? Judd getting it quickly out of the midfield. Betts is a great one-on-one player. Kicked 40+ goals last year. We know the game changed on its head when Jared Waite had to go off the ground and be substituted with a mild concussion or a concussion of some form. But in the end, to come out this last quarter, they've kicked all 5 goals of the final quarter. So great response from the Blues.
High ball into the forward pocket. Betts claims the mark. Umpire says play on. Jackson squeezes the kick out. Not 15. Carlton regain possession. Here's Big Warnock. To Gibbs. Happy to concede some territory. Back to Thornton. To Scotland. And they're going backwards, Carlton, at the moment, but they're maintaining possession of the ball. And the mark has been taken by Simpson.
Play on!
Thornton back. To Simpson once again. So they've dodged a bullet here, the Blues. They'll load up next week again. They'll travel to Brisbane to play the Gold Coast Suns. A historic night for AFL football. Murphy. Walker. Centering kick. Betts overran it. Picked up by Newman. And here's an opportunity for the Tigers. Into the middle it goes. And Helbig's got the footy.
Gives to Connors. Couple of one-on-ones ahead. Martin, he played on instantly to try and get it into Revolt. Give him a chance. White slaps it away. Well done from Revolt to fight on. Laidler handball. White wasn't ready for it. Jack still in and out, under and at him. But we're going to have a bounce.
As Lloydie pointed out before, it's an underrated part of his game, Jack Revolt. His ability to chase, tackle and operate at ground level. He's powerfully quick off the mark. His second efforts are so good. And again, he just turned a 50-50 ball into an opportunity here.
Which almost could have produced a Richmond goal, but alas, doesn't look like it will now. Carazzo's got Russell, and the Blues in no hurry. The message from the captain is just to hold it up.
It'll be a much more balanced side, Carlton, when they have Jamison back and Bauer back in defence. It's really thrown the defensive structures out tonight. They would have been 1 and 2 options on Revolt. Instead, they've had to go to White and go to Thornton. And that, along with their poor kicking, Carlton has probably allowed Richmond into the game a little more than they'd hoped for.
25th disposal for Chris Judd. He's also had 10 clearances. Turnover from Carazzo. Jackson into the pocket.
Is there a spot, in your opinion, for Satanta? I know we're going down to 3, but just his role early in last season was good. Fell away as the season went on, but
I like Satanta, and I also like him as a second ruckman. I think that role that we saw Lee Brown do last year, Lordy, for Collingwood, where he can play multiple roles. I know Hampson has gone and taken a big grab, but O'Halpin has been a 4 or 5 goal kicker before for Carlton. I think there's definitely a role for him to play. Bit of ruck and forward.
15 out from the Tigers' goal.
Fine. It was in and came back out. You grabbed it, Trent. Thanks. Let it go.
6
Let it go,
goals to
boys.
Jack Revolt in the first 3 quarters. Just couldn't get the ball to him in this final term.
Play on.
Robinson the tap, and there it is. The Blues have got the points, but boy, not before. A huge scare. And they start season 2011 with a victory. What a game of turnarounds it was. In the end, Carlton got the 4 points, but boy, they had to work hard. 14-20-104 to the Tigers, 13-6-84 in front of a crowd of 60,500.
This has been a